It was 1 year ago that a Wiley couple died when their house exploded in the middle of the night. The official finding, natural gas leaked under their house and ignited. At the time the state investigation was closed, ours was just beginning.
Over the past year, News 8 has amassed hundreds of documents and spent countless hours to unearth the truth. Our finding that tens of thousands of North Texas lives may be at risk. Investigative reporter Brett Chip joins us now. He's got details for us. Brett?
John and Gloria, when Benny and Martha Cryer died in a house explosion in Wiley 1 year ago, the Texas Railroad Commission, the agency that regulates the natural gas industry in the state, took over the investigation. But were they really in search of the truth, or have they, in effect, helped bury a deadly secret that lurks beneath the North Texas dirt? Tonight, News 8 investigates.
It just blew up. Shook my whole house. You would have thought a bomb had gone off.
The neighbors who lived it will never forget. Wiley, Texas, October 16, 2006. A pre-dawn explosion levels the home of Benny and Martha Cryer. The couple was blown out of their bed, trapped under debris that was starting to catch fire.
There was screaming going on.
Next-door neighbor Sean Willie watched helplessly as they both burned to death.
And I know it wasn't my responsibility to take care of them, but it was kind of... It gets to you.
It was the worst night of my life.
The trauma of that night also haunts Willie's wife.
The people who would have helped anybody that needed anything, and we couldn't help them. And they didn't deserve it.
Investigators with the state's oil and gas regulatory agency, the Texas Railroad Commission, were on the scene within hours, quick to discover natural gas had leaked into the Cryers' home from a pipe that had pulled out of its fitting beneath the gas meter in the alley. This past March, the Railroad Commission's official findings were released. The service line had in fact separated from its compression coupling, and gas had migrated through the soil and ignited the Cryers' house a few yards away. The Railroad Commission Safety Director Mary McDaniel notified Atmos Energy of the findings, thanking them for their assistance, declaring this to be a favorable report. The only finding, possible damage to the gas line during third-party activity, meaning another utility, not Atmos, may have been responsible. The Railroad Commission's case was closed, but our investigation was just beginning into how no one or thing was being blamed for the Cryers' deaths, which is exactly why neighbors are incensed.
Nobody deserves to die like that. Nobody. And to treat it as if it's something that they can brush off is inconceivable, immoral, and unethical, and quite frankly, unacceptable.
There was nothing done to try to document the coupling.
According to pipeline engineer Don Deaver of Houston, Willie's outrage is justified. Deaver was a pipeline safety expert for Exxon for 33 years and is familiar with compression coupling failures. After reviewing the state's report at our request, Deaver says he believes no real investigation was ever done.
They didn't do any forensic work on the coupling itself.
Which would have included what?
Well, you would take it, you would have pulled it apart, you would at least open it up to see what's in it.
But photographs taken after the report was released show mud still caked on the coupling that failed, meaning it was never inspected by the state. This report was complete when that photograph was taken.
That's right.
What sense does that make?
Well, this tells you they did absolutely nothing.
Not only did investigators fail to inspect the fitting, Deaver says there's no mention of the coupling's legacy of failure. The non-restraint compression coupling was installed in the 1950s, 60s, and 70s and still connects gas pipes under tens of thousands of older North Texas homes. Unlike newer fittings that lock in place, the non-restraint coupling's only method of gripping the pipe is a rubber seal holding it in place. Deaver says the fitting has a tendency to fail when the notoriously elastic North Texas soil expands, contracts, and pulls on a pipe.
Like that.
Atmos officials say there are an estimated 100,000 of the questionable couplings still under the ground. Railroad Commission officials should be well aware of their danger. On file with the state, memo after memo dating back to the early 1980s from respected institutions such as the National Transportation Safety Board and the American Gas Association, warning gas companies nationwide of the pull-out potential and the couplings limitations. Why? Because people were being killed and injured all over the country. The coupling that leaked and killed the Criers was installed in 1979 by Lone Star Gas, the company that used to own the current Atmos system. In 1980, the couplings manufacturer warned Lone Star officials that the couplings will not meet new federal regulations. But replacing them would be costly, tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. The potentially faulty couplings were left in the ground. When they failed, some North Texans began paying with their lives. A house explosion in Keller in 1980 left 1 dead. 3 were injured in another explosion in Arlington in 1998. 1 dead, 1 injured in a house explosion in North Richland Hills in 2000. 4 were badly burned in an explosion in West Dallas in 2001. The Criers died when their house exploded in 2006. Then on May 29th of this year,
there was just a boom. Damage is extensive.
Exactly 2 months after the Railroad Commission vindicated Atmos in the Wiley explosion report, another explosion, this time in Cleburne. Hazel Pollock and her daughter Hazel Sanderson were killed. 3 others suffered serious burns. The cause, a leaking compression coupling beneath the street on an Atmos pipe. Atmos says it spent nearly $100 million last year alone repairing damaged gas lines and on maintenance. Company officials say the couplings are safe and that a water utility is to blame for the Wiley accident. The question now, with more than 100,000 potentially deadly couplings still in the ground, why is the Railroad Commission reluctant to act?
Do those things need to come out of the ground?
At this point, I can't say that.
Getting answers from Railroad Commission officials in Austin has been difficult. Over the past year, we have been repeatedly told that Railroad Commission Chairman Michael Williams would not comment. Following a commission meeting in Austin last August, we asked for a face-to-face meeting with Williams.
Will he be available at some point?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Yeah.
Why won't he talk to us about this issue?
He's going to a meeting right now.
Safety Director Mary McDaniel also declined to talk to us and was also unavailable until we caught up with her after the same meeting. She says she stands by her report, and despite the legacy of tragedy, there's no need to assume that the couplings are not safe.
So you don't think there's imminent danger for people in North Texas through failure of these couplings?
At this point, no.
Who's minding the store? Who cares about the lives of these people? How many Texans die before somebody cares?
According to this Railroad Commission document obtained by News 8, 1 state employee investigating the Wiley explosion did care. In fact, last year, that employee recommended the immediate pullout of all of the faulty couplings around the state. So what happened to that recommendation? I'll have that story tomorrow night.